reality comes. Shades on. The reality comes. Shades on. Knowledge wisdom.
Well, hello. Oh my goodness, y'all, just 1 second. Let me hop off here. Y'all know I forgot my sunglasses, but y'all just hold that thought. I'm going to jump off this screen, but I'm going to keep talking for the time being. But y'all. I had to get me some bling blings, some real bling blings, because I want y'all to know what it is. And you know, I have been trying to get people to understand who the reality coach really is. Let me tell you about me. I am a realist, and I want people to see the struggle you go through before you get to. And a lot of times people don't realize that this stuff doesn't come easy. It is not something that you can just get up and do at all. And right now I am trying to send a link to a friend of mine who wants to come on. So and one thing about me as well, if you want to come on the show, I have no problem letting you come on. I am not one to get caught up in all that hoopla. You got to be this, you got to be that, and you got to look this way, you got to act that way. Well, we do have a certain decorum. We really do. And y'all, but one thing about the reality coach, she keep it 100% real. This is me trying to look, y'all. I don't know how to do technology, and I just want to keep it real for you all so y'all can understand how serious this stuff is. So when you see someone up on stage and they look all prim and proper and they appear to have everything in order, it takes a team of people. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I want to make mention of some people that have came and arose and have gotten places, you know? And that's what I'm doing. Let me do this. Hold on, y'all. Don't want y'all to see what's going on. Now, I'm trying to be slick and do it slick, but nonetheless, I am wanting everyone to see everything that goes on with me, because this is real. This is some real issues and some real talk in real time, because it is not easy trying to get to where you're trying to go, because everybody's life is so full of things, and life is going on and life is happening, and everybody know I sure got my share of life happening. But I don't want people to think that I'm inhuman and things don't go perfect in my life, because they don't. It's a struggle, you all. It is a struggle. And sometimes maybe I'm praying that someone will say, hey, she's got some talent. Let's see what we can do to help her further herself. You know, that's what I'm praying. But so far, y'all, as you see, it ain't work. And I know plenty of people that can help it work. But of course, they're probably busy in their everyday lives trying to make their careers jump off. But again, like I said, I wanted people to see the real struggle in behind what goes on behind the scene. Well, in front of the scenes with me. So let me quit rambling and get to what I'm talking about. Yesterday, I was asked when I went down to the African American Museum, because on Saturday, I will be hosting Tech for Heroes' first inaugural fundraising event, which is an honor within itself. There will be the Buffalo Soldiers, the Deltas that are in the military. They will be there. It'll be a whole gamut of people there for you to visit with, see, and everything. But nonetheless, I was asked if I was going to dress up. And I was like, dress up for what? Because I was going to go live and let people see. I said, no, I like for people to see the struggle, because if people don't see the struggle, they may get a little envious of me. But if they see what I've been through, then there ain't no envy there. None whatsoever. So I wanted to go natural, and I did. I didn't have on makeup. I didn't have on all the bells and whistles, because if you know me, you already know the reality coach can go there. If you want to see the lashes and the cutie pie and all that, I can go there. That's not a problem for me, but it's not always necessary with me. Notice I said there, it is not a problem for me, but it's not always necessary with me, because I want you all to see every bit of the struggle. Because when you see things on TV, you don't see how people are getting yelled at. Go over and get this. You don't see all the many moving parts that go into putting on a production. There are a lot of things going on with the production. So this is a one-woman show right here. This is all me, all the reality coaches. No one has taught me anything. No one has showed me nothing. It's just me trying to do it. Like I had to learn how to work Canva, to even do these flyers, because I want people to understand why I do certain shows. So without further ado, y'all, we put shades on because it's the truth you may not want to see, but you're going to hear it. And y'all saw some real truth today. I forgot the shades. I'm all seeming to be all over the place, but now I'm starting to get into my flow. So here we go. Today's show topic is lesson to learn, not earn. And as you see on the flyer, I got me looking like, and then I've got the little helpful little teacher over here. And then the little student up here, like, what am I supposed to learn? Today at 12 o'clock, you're getting ready to learn something. And here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, with all of the upcoming elections and all of this stuff going on, I want people to understand why I say what I say. When it says, lesson to learn, not earn. Well, this past week, last Thursday and Friday, I had the honorable privilege of attending the inauguration of Dr. Freddie Douglass Haynes, Reverend Dr. Freddie Douglass Haynes III of Friendship West Baptist Church, the pastor. His, for lack of a better word, the baton pass, or the leadership pass on to him from Reverend Jesse Jackson, who was the original founder of Rainbow Push Coalition. And he was there, and there's my guest. Hi, Reggie. How are you? Let me get you on the screen and see if we can hear you.
I'm saying good morning.
There you are. Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, nonetheless. You looking rather dapper. You got your hair out, you got your step all cleaned up, but anyway, there you go.
Yeah,
but
I put some.
we
got some new shampoo
real
for my
echo.
hair and everything. Yeah.
We got a real echo for some reason.
I have no idea.
Me either.
Let me.
But we'll try to keep going.
Well, yeah. Let's hope for the best. You know how we
Hey,
have with our
this
urban
is all
technology.
Mm-hmm. And I was just telling people that I want them to see the now versus the then or when, because people need to see the struggles that people go through, because a lot of times they don't understand how people get into leadership roles and they think they just popped there. No, they did not. And I was beginning to explain to them about the privilege that I had. I'm not sure why we have such a bad echo. Let me see if I remove that. Okay, now let me see. Now the echo is gone. So I'm going to put you back on the screen. I don't know what it is with your mic. I think maybe you might need to turn your phone down. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
I hear you perfectly.
Why do I have an echo?
I don't know. Maybe I have to. I don't know. Maybe I have to switch phones. I know the last time we did, I had to switch phones and everything.
Okay, well, try that.
Okay.
So, nonetheless, as I was saying to him, yeah, it's coming in real bad. Y'all give us a moment. Okay. So, Reverend Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes, he was able to take over this position not because he was elected by people, but he was selected. And that's the whole premise of this topic with the elections coming up. And so often we didn't learn until after we had to earn the lesson. And we don't have to earn lessons. We can do our research like they did with Reverend Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes. Jesse Jackson could have had thousands of great legends to take over that position, to take over his spot, to do what he was doing, but he did his homework. They researched, and not only did Reverend Jackson do his homework, Dr. Haynes had to do his homework too to see if this was something that he wanted to partake on, because it's not easy taking on a foundation of that level. But I want to share the reason why I believe that they selected Dr. Haynes. They didn't elect him, they selected him. And the reason being is because I remember, and I've said this over and over again, and I'll keep shouting it to the mountaintop. I remember when Dr. Haynes wasn't a doctor, he was just Reverend Haynes. He was on Polk and Keist, went to Paul Bishop College, which is now Paul Quinn, I believe, if I'm correct. He went there. But when he was on Keist, it didn't start out the way it ended up being by the time I had moved membership and moved to Illinois and came back. But nonetheless, you used to have to be on 67. Now, this is let me take these out because this is some truth you may not want to hear, but you may not want to see, but you're going to hear because you can't see, but I'm going to give you the best visual I can. When he was on Keist and Polk, you literally, either direction, if you came down Polk or you came down Keist, on Keist at 67, you used to have to sit in a line, to get to the church. And then you had to sit in another line to get into the parking lot of the church. And then you had to stand in a line to get to a seat in the church. That's how long this man has been on this mission for God. So this is not something that Reverend Jackson just happened to think of about Dr. Haynes, but he's been on a lot of times when I didn't know any better, and this is some truth you may not want to see, but y'all know I tell the truth, and I tell it on myself too. I quit going because it had gotten so political. So I thought it had gotten so political until I didn't know what else to do other than not go, because I'm like, I can't do all this stuff that he got going on over here. It's too radical, it's too this, it's too that. Now, y'all, mind you, it was before I ended up in this unfortunate disposition that I'm in with my son, that I now understand why Reverend Haynes appeared to be radical and too political. In Dallas County, you better be radical and you better be political. You better have political knowledge, because if you don't, it's not going to work out for you well in Dallas County. And you can't be afraid. So you have to be radical because these are the type of people that you deal with. Some of these people are just outright not right. And I've experienced it firsthand myself. And I don't like it. And I don't think it's fair. Because see, I was out there thinking I was electing people. I was just electing people without doing my research. Without doing research, I was just electing them like everybody else. Because that's what we're supposed to do. And let me give you the definition. And that's why I put the definition up here so you guys can look at the flyer. And I wanted this to stay on. And I know I sound a mess. I'm almost wanting to just get off of here and start over. Because for one, my guest is driving me crazy because he can't seem to get on properly. Sometimes the link works and the link doesn't work. And I'm sounding like I'm rambling and all over the place, which I am, but I didn't intend to be because I had myself all set up. But when distractions happen, they throw you off. And I promise you, that is what this is all about, is to distract me, because this lesson that I'm getting ready to give so no one has to earn, topsy-turvy is everywhere. Everywhere. And is really distracting. So nonetheless, let me try to get back on course and stay on course. I was going to look up the word elected and selected and give you the difference in case you can't see it on your screen, because my screen is very tiny and I know it. But here's the deal. Here is the difference between elected and selected. When you elect someone, it is usually a public vote by the public for someone who has ran for an office. So that means there are people that are in that position running for an office. And let me take this off. Choose to hold public office or some other position by voting. That's what elect means. Elected means once you're there. People who are chosen are singled out. You're chosen because you asked to be elected. So you have to run a campaign. You have to spend a lot of money. You have to do a whole lot of things. All right, let's see if my guest is on now. It's still an echo.
Yeah, that's why I was trying. That's why I'll tell you, send it to the other phone.
I did.
You send it to the 5645?
Yes, I did.
No, I don't see. This is all right. Well,
and it only gives an echo when I speak, and that's unusual.
Yeah, because I was gonna try to forward the link back to the 5645 line, and it just queued up right here on this one. So,
well, sir, I don't know what to tell you, but I can't do it. Yes, it is very badly.
Like I said, try sending the link to 5645. Otherwise, I'm gonna try to see if I can forward it myself. But
that might be your best option because I've already sent it to you.
All right.
Okay. Woo, y'all. This is not good, and I'm telling you. And a lot of people are looking probably like, why don't she just get off of here? And I'm about to say that myself. Why don't she just get off of here? But nonetheless, let me try to go back to what I was talking about. Father, help us get it together. But I'm going to edit this so it won't show all of that you're seeing. But I'm trying to send him this link once again for the umpteenth time. Okay. Well, let me breathe. Totally been distracted. Totally. Now we're going to reset and restart in a more professional way. Y'all hold that thought because I'm going to edit this and it's going to be correct.
Here she comes, the reality comes, shades on, the reality comes, shades on, knowledge, wisdom.
Hello, 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 y'all. I've reset and restarted, and this is going to be better because I cannot deal with the way it was going. But nonetheless, here it is. Y'all know why we wear the sunglasses, because sometimes people don't want to see the truth, but they certainly gonna hear the truth. And when I take the shades off, it's some truth you need to see and hear. So let me get this going. Okay. The reality coach decided to do a show today to entitled Lessons to Learn, Not Earn. Because so often in this world, we are so busy earning lessons that we don't have to. And back in the day, it used to be a point where people would hand knowledge down and you could pick it up and you could learn from that. Because guess what? I know that if I saw someone touch some fire and it was hot on them, I don't have to touch that fire in order to know that it's hot. I'm going to learn the lesson from what they have earned. I'm going to learn that lesson from them because I watched them earn it, because they got the burnt finger. So why do I have to burn my finger in order to be burned, in order to know it's hot? So that's one point that I want you all to understand. And here's the big deal. Big congratulations to Reverend Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes, the third of Friendship West Baptist Church. He was given leadership as president and CEO of Rainbow Push Coalition from Reverend Jesse Jackson. That is a big, big, big woo, 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 y'all. We should be excited. Way to go, Reverend Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes, the third Friendship West pastor. We finally got someone in our city where we're often complaining about the injustices that happen right here in our city. And now we have the president and CEO here in our city. And y'all, the inauguration was so nice. There was some big powerhouses in the house. There was, of course, Reverend Jesse Jackson Jr. You had Roland Martin. You had Al Sharpton was here. You had so many people here that are playing a big role in the Miss Austin. She was there. There were so many people there at this event in support of Dr. Haynes, and that was a beautiful thing, because we I don't know if y'all don't. I don't know how to act. I really don't. I do not know how to act having a mogul of this magnitude in our city, and I'm so excited. And let me just tell you, this just didn't happen by happenstance. This title was inspired by Reverend Dr. Freddie Douglass Haynes being selected, not elected. There's a huge difference between selected and elected. Reverend Haynes was selected by Reverend Jackson, because Reverend Jackson must know, like I know, Freddie's about that life. Look, and I know he, in no disrespect when I call him Freddie, because Freddie has been on this journey a long time, and he started out as Frederick Douglass, Freddie Douglass, whatever word you want, and he slowly built himself up, y'all. This has been in the making for 30 years. I'm almost certain. Well, at least 30 years. At least 30 years. It just didn't happen. Don't Don't mind me if I say Freddie, because it's no disrespect to the one of the most intelligent men that I've had the privilege to meet. Because Reverend Dr. Freddie Douglass Haynes III is very intelligent. But when I call him Freddie, y'all, that's because I call him Freddie, because Freddie about that life. Because I remember when we would be in line on 67 and Keys, whether you came 67 from the Keys side or from the Polk side, you had a line to get to hear this man. So you had to wait in line on the freeway, and then you had to take the freeway to get to the parking lot of the church, wait in another line. And then when you got to the church, you had to stand in line in order to get a seat. That's how powerful this man has been in this ministry, as well as this walk and journey. And I left to go to Illinois. And when I left, I was kind of happy because I thought he was too political, too radical, too this and too that. But now that I'm in a disposition of having to deal with Dallas County, I understand radical, wild, all that. Whatever words you want to put there, overbearing, constant complain, constant sit down, whatever you want to put there for me, put it there. It matches, because I understand the struggle that you have to go through when you're fighting a judicial system that's so corrupt and so out of order. You have to go there, and you can't be afraid to challenge it. And that is exactly what Dr. Haynes is doing. He is not afraid to challenge. And Reverend Jackson saw that. He didn't just go, and he could have picked anybody, but he saw the passion and the growth pattern. And this is what I'm letting you all see about the reality coach. She's growing. These here, like I said, Dr. Haynes didn't start out Dr. Haynes. He was Frederick Douglass or Freddie Haynes. We used to call him all of that name, but he don't mind. And let me tell you, even to this day, although he's traveled the country, he's doing so many things abroad, he is still the same. Radical, and still like your homeboy pastor that's giving you good sound advice, that's spiritually, that's tied biblically, to let you know how to stand up and fight in this world of injustice, inequalities, disparities, all that stuff he's teaching you. And I am so glad that he didn't give up on serving, being a leader, because I certainly gave up on his leadership. And ain't no shame in my game. I did, because I thought he was too political. But now you got to be about that life. He said he needs some noise maker. Honey, here comes the reality coach, the noise maker. And the reason I got on these blinged out sunglasses and the necklace and the blingy earrings, because when we get elected into positions, we start doing all kinds of things. We start getting uppity, and we start getting so high and mighty and so important until we're no earthly good. But we wasn't like that whenever we was trying to get elected. We was very friendly, very approachable. But now, once people get elected, they get beside themselves. I see my guest is back. Let's see how this is going to work. Let's see.
God, I hope the third time's a charm.
No echo, no echo, no echo. Woo! Yay. What I did is I went out and I just started the show over, because I'm going to edit that first part because it was just so choppy and all over the place. But nonetheless, I was telling people about Reverend Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes being selected versus elected, because people need to understand the difference between an elected and a selected person. Elected person, you know of their character.
Right.
Because what they want you to see about their character. But when you are selected, you get to know their character. And I was just saying that Reverend Jackson could have picked many, many people out of all this whole world, but he selected our very own native of Dallas, Reverend Dr. Frederick Douglass Haynes III, pastor of Friendship West Baptist Church, because, Reggie, you've been here in Dallas a long time. You know, well, we know him as Freddie too, because see, before he became Reverend, he was old Freddie, over on Keystone Polk. But you even know him a little further back than that, don't you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I remember back in '93 when he first used to come on K104 on morning shows. And
you went way back.
Inspirational vitamin, that's what they call it, inspirational vitamin. You'll do a nice little inspiring message for the day that you went by. And of course, that was back during the '90s when everything was golden here in Dallas. And
Hmm.
so yeah, we go back quite a ways. And one of the things to add to your point is the reason why I believe that Dr. Haynes was tabbed for this go round is because of what's going on here in Dallas. That is just so sickening. It's like a it's like a bottleneck. You just holding everything back. It's a groundswell of social oppression here, and everybody paints the picture, especially on the news. They want to propagate this as some type of cornucopia of diversity, and you have all these people of all these races here coexisting in perfect harmony. But underneath the surface, as we all know, the disharmony is real. The hate is
Hmm.
real, and it's a lot of times it's by people of our own race more so than it is people of the other race. But it's all combined.
Right. So it brings me back to the subject at hand, that people need to understand. This is a lesson to learn, not earn. Lesson to learn, not earn. We are learning a lot of lessons that we don't have to earn because we've seen people's character. So we need to understand the difference between electing someone and selecting someone. And this is why this is so important, using Reverend Dr. Frederick Haynes the third as an example, because he was selected. And when you select someone, you know their character. You know their character. But when you elect them,
Exactly.
you know of their character. And the word elect means choose to hold public office or some other position by voting. That means you have to be voted in. So, y'all, we have officials that we voted into these seats that don't do none of what they said that they were going to do. None. And a prime example is we have, and I mean, you can do what you want to do, but y'all, this may be some dark truth that you may not want to see, but you're getting ready to hear it and you can see it. Because even when we elected our mayor this round, he was elected as a Democratic candidate. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe he's changed from the Democratic ticket to the Republican ticket. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Now, you can change and do what you choose to do, but it leaves people that voted for you under the Democratic ticket a little bit disappointed, because you said you were going on the Democratic core values and the premise that the Democrats believed in, but then you turn around and you jump ship after you've been elected. Well, nobody's saying that you can't do that, but if the homework would have been done and we would have, as people who voted, I whoever voted, I don't want to put people's words in people's mouth, whoever voted on the Democratic ticket, I believe that if we got to know the character of the mayor, perhaps we could have seen some of these signs that maybe he wasn't or not we, but people could have seen, voters could have seen that maybe he wasn't a diehard Democrat. Maybe there were some things that gave significant signs that he might do this. I'm not
Oh, the
saying
signs was there.
and I'm not knocking the mayor, but I am knocking the way it was done.
Exactly.
That's not right. And this is what's happening so much in this election process. People get elected because voters believe that they're getting one thing. And then once we believe that we're getting one thing, we turn around and deceive. And because we didn't do our homework, we didn't learn something, we got to earn the lesson of deceit.
Exactly. Well, I had seen the makeup coming off on Mayor Johnson long before he finally went on and did the final aha moment when he ran unopposed And I believe that if the Democratic Party knew that he was going to switch, they would have had somebody to run against him. But they sat down, sat on their guard, and allowed him to walk in unopposed. And then he turns around and flipped the script on him. And I believe that, like for us, yeah, it was very deceitful what had happened, because his aspirations, and I don't knock nobody for their aspiration. If he wants to be a senator, great, be a senator. But it seems to me like the Republican Party sent him in as a Trojan horse to come in, infiltrate, make everybody believe everything was good. We're going in a whole direction, and all he wanted to do was just try to flip Dallas and turn it into a Republican city.
Well,
And
he didn't have to do that. I mean, we all
he didn't
know
have to do it that way. No,
Dallas has a lot of Republicans, so I can't validate that one way or another, but that is one man's opinion, and it's okay to have that opinion if that's what you choose to do. But my thing is, please stop deceiving people. But
right.
we set ourselves up for deceit, because if we don't do our homework, then that's what happens. And that's why I keep bringing up Reverend Dr. Freddie Douglass Haynes. The homework was done on this man, because I tell you, he's been on this journey a long time. I left his leadership because I thought he was too political, too radical. And now I totally understand why. I really do.
Exactly.
And I wished I would have learned before I had to earn this lesson that I'm earning. Because see, I wasn't big on the criminal justice part in Dallas, because I didn't have anyone involved in it. So it didn't affect me. But now that the shoe and the table has turned, I understand why Reverend Dr. Freddie Douglass Haynes is the way he is. And so now I want to tell people about the difference between elected and selected. When you are selected, that means they have done their homework. You have been carefully chosen because you are the most suitable candidate. The most suitable. So he was the most suitable for what is happening with that process. Now we have an upcoming election. I want people in Dallas to do their homework, because we're not going to get change until we do our homework and put people in these seats that are true to what their platform is. And the platform is the bullet points that they run their campaign on. If you go out and you see them somewhere and they're not doing that, you might need to take a second look and get to studying some more. What do you think about that?
Well, to add to that point, I'm glad you brought that part of it up, because I'm certain you get a lot of inboxes about people who's running for office, and I had got one from a judge whose name I'm going to keep off the list for now. But I got one that was saying that, okay, they want to be certain that they let everybody know that their page is only to try to campaign for their seat as office, and that they don't want anyone coming to them about current problems or problems in the past or anything that's still pending, because we're trying to get an opinion, like like you and I have done, going to several other people's campaign functions. But with that being said, how are you going to sit up here and tell somebody exactly what type of support you want or need if you want us to endorse you and want our vote? How are we supposed to trust that you're going to be, like to the point you made earlier, someone who's scratching on the door to be let in, and then when you let them in, all of a sudden they don't know you no more? I mean, how many times have we been lied to like that? Or
What?
when you try to ask them about what type of agenda you're running, and they pass out that list that they want you to write exactly what it is you want, so they can say to the audience what's going on. That type of duplicitousness, we can do without, because we've been burned too many times. So yeah, I question anybody. I'm not gonna be going door to door telling everybody this person's a good candidate and everything. I'm not gonna go to any rallies and speak and say this person has our back and everything. Then all the while, when they get in that seat, all of a sudden they don't know you, or they'll take a selfie with you just so they can block your number when they when you call them later when there's a problem. People saying that
They take a selfie for public perception.
huh?
A selfie for public perception.
Exactly. And then like another one, my personal favorite is the fact that they always claiming that we're not supporting them, we're not giving them money and into a campaign. I said, okay, well, if you showed us that you was reliable and that you was trustworthy, I can use, for example, like Nancy Mulder. Judge Mulder, when she ran as a judge, she showed what she was good for. She helped me on quite a few other cases before she became judge. And that really compelled me to go out there and campaign for her, go door to door for her.
Did she stay the same? Did she remain the same once she became judge?
Actually, she got better.
Oh wow, that's
something you don't hear every day. But
exactly.
But the sad part about it is, why is it there's so many others they want the same thing? And then to my other point, why is it that a person of a different color can show you what transparency really is, what integrity is, and everything like that? Is not just a little sideline that you want to write on your poster and everything.
Okay.
Sometimes people forget that.
Clarify that for me, because so you're saying, I don't understand. I'm saying for the layman's like myself, I don't do cold talking.
Right.
I understand, but what do you mean by what you just said?
No, what I mean is that when a person shows you that they are really genuine in what they're doing, I give you another example, like Judge Lena Lavario, when she was judge, she said that sometimes us public servants, when we get in our seats, we forget that we're here to serve the public and not our own self-interest. We're not here because we're getting a nice check, all the time. We got a solid job. But there are a lot that does that. And I am going to try to reach out to the Dallas Democratic Party chair and try to see if we can get this thing righted. Otherwise, I may have to sit on the sidelines this go around, because I'm not liking this blank hubris that I'm getting. And this, people when they see you coming, they ducking and trying to go the other way, like you about to ask, like you asking them for money. I said, okay, well, you all ask us for money, ask us for support, but we need the same thing in return. Mm-hmm. We need to know that our vote is not going to be wasted when we're out here trying to struggle, just trying to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
People.
Well,
go ahead.
And here's the thing that I noticed that a lot of people get in these positions. Let me tell you, when you are elected for a seat, you're not the end all do all. You're just someone who speaks for we the people. It is not a personal position for you to take on and think that you are king or queen because you're in that seat. No, we the people put you in that seat. So therefore, you got to always remember, it is never a personal seat. It is a public seat. The only thing that's personal is the core values that you have personally intertwined with me. We're on a personal level because we both agree on the same things. So a lot of these candidates get in these elected seats and they become more of a personal thing for them versus a public.
Right.
But we the people put you there. We the people can put you out. Don't ever forget that, because I was even told by someone who is the president of an organization not to come to their function because of something that's personal. That don't have anything to do. You are in a public seat. You can't tell the public not to come. It is not your foundation. It is not your it is not your government. It is not yours.
Well, that goes back to the thing we've always said before. We need political advocates to be our public servants, not political celebrities. That's all we're getting.
Well, that's why I put my diamond stuff on, because I know when people get in these seats, they start putting their diamonds and all this
Oh
stuff
yeah,
on. You know, they forget that when you was out there, you didn't have all that on. You was out there grinding. You were out
yeah,
there doing what people that are wanting to be elected do. You're doing what you're supposed to do. You got to do your part. And I'm gonna tell you something. People like me and you, we probably won't ever get elected to a seat. We would have to definitely be selected, because people have to understand, especially me. I can't speak for you, but I know people have to understand my character. My character speaks
exactly.
volumes. I'm not getting ready to play games. It is what it is. I'm not living in the momentum. I'm living in the moment. Too many of these elected people live in the momentum of that position versus the moment. Dr. Reverend Frederick Douglass Haynes lives in the moment, and then he gets the momentum because he knows what he needs to seize the moment.
Amen.
And that's a wonderful thing to know. And people are probably going to get tired of me making noise about Dr. Reverend Frederick Douglass Haynes, but that's the truth. I've seen it for years. And it's so sad that I had to learn the lesson from what he had earned already. And even John Wiley Price, I don't know what all he went through, but I know from what I hear from other people, they say he was a phenomenal community advocate.
Yeah, he was.
I
And
mean, after a while, you get tired and you get worn out. The very people you're trying to help are the very people that cut your neck in half.
well, to that point, I'm gonna say this, that if I had known, like just like what you were saying earlier about yourself, if I had known just how sick this disease of social oppression and racism and injustice was really happening here in Dallas, you know, I would have gotten off my complacency and been more involved. But just like yourself, it had to come to our door and had to attack us and had to tear us apart before we start realizing that, hey, this is a problem. Because I mean, I know like I know at least a whole decade for the 90s that Commissioner Price was speaking about these so-called problems, the good old boy networks, the this vacuum pack of racism, everything that he was fighting against, and I blindly did not follow that, and I wasn't aware of it. I actually thought he was being paranoid. But, oh, was I ever wrong? So I first saw how bad it was after my stabbing back in 2001. That that there's not a bit of care concern when it's black on black crime. And then 2009 when I was arrested on the first charge of deadly conduct. That's when I realized how bad it was, because anytime a person can come to your house, start an incident, bring a gun, and you the one end up going to jail, that's a problem. Just
Well,
because of my gender, just because the other person was a woman, that they believed her that she
well,
didn't do anything wrong.
well, I know all about that.
Right.
Yeah, and unfortunate for me, it's the same thing. And y'all, the reason why I do these type of topics is because I really want you all to learn. Don't become a lesson to learn.
Right.
Don't
Or
let it be
or
a
the
lesson
topic
to
of the
learn.
lesson.
No, don't look, read this and read it good. Lesson to learn, not earn. I don't want y'all to have to earn what I've learned. No, I don't want y'all to know what it's like to have a son murdered and his murderer gets a 5-year plea deal. I don't want y'all to know what it's like to have a son wrongfully convicted and can't get nothing done. No help from no one. I don't want y'all to go through what I'm going through. So this is why it's so important that we elect people and put them in these seats and we follow and do our homework. Period. And that's the same thing Mr. Ruffin is saying. He does not want you to have to know what it's like. He don't want you to get that lesson to to learn from what he's earned, because he's telling you he has personally experienced being at home. Someone brings a gun to his house and he's the one arrested. Makes no sense. None. That's all we're saying.
Exactly.
Do your homework. Quit putting these judges in these seats that you can tell. Dallas got a bad problem right now. And we have some judges on the people wanting to become judges now. Do your homework. What have they done in the community right? What have they done when they've been faced with the buddy system? No, I can't do that because it goes against my oath of office. It ain't about being my friend. It's not about being my buddy. It's about the oath of office I took. What are they doing? They cannot keep getting in these seats, being sweet in the streets, but once they get in the seat, they don't know you from the streets. Period. Point blank. Can't keep happening. We got to get people. So y'all, I'm telling you, if you want change, like Dr. Haynes said, and I quote, if we want something done, we're going to have to make some noise. And sometimes it takes pots, pans, kicks, and pots, pans, sticks, and stones to make some noise. And that means sometimes we have to uproot people. And let me tell you, please don't always look at color either. When you're out here doing your research, look at character. Character is what matters. And until we understand that in full extent, I didn't know fully what Dr. King was saying when he said, I want people to know the content of my character. I didn't understand that. Now I do. Unfortunately, these are lessons to learn, not earn. Dr. King, and looking at Reverend Jesse Jackson in person, to see him in person, the matter of man that he was, fighting so hard, vibrant, fighting, just out there doing his thing for the people. And now it is taking a toll on him. It really has. And I wonder how many people support him now. But from what I can see now, y'all, let me have him tell y'all this. He got some love around him. They take good care of Reverend Jackson. They really do. They take very good care of him. So that was wonderful to see. It really was. And Reverend Al Sharpton, he looks well. He's holding it down, and he spoke very well. And I implore and encourage everybody to go back and look on Facebook and listen to those speeches that those legends gave. They gave some real lessons to learn, not earn, in their speeches. They really did. So, Mr. Ruffin, with that being said, have you had an opportunity to listen to any of those great speeches that were given that night of the inauguration?
I saw a few of them, but I was sitting up here, I got my new gig with the Elite News, and I'm going to be doing some editorials, some commentaries that I know, and I'm going to be trying to write some for some other papers and some other columns, because you have to improvise sometime on the fly when you are trying to survive out here, just as he was struggling to try to make it. And so I'm taking this opportunity to see if this works for me. And me being on this, hey, it might be something that I need to do, because I tell people all the time, I didn't choose this life, I didn't choose this career, I didn't choose to be Just Cause Coalition. It chose me, because
Mm-hmm.
I almost got routed in this. I almost ended up being a slave like your son, out there every day, someone telling you what to do and everything like that. That was almost me, more than once. So that's what drives me to push and strive for others who are in that struggle, because it's nothing good about that part. You know,
And
when
can you only imagine being there wrongfully?
in Martin Lawrence, that was a comedy, but that comedy had a lot of reality to it.
Life.
Hmm.
Hmm.
So
I just can't even. I mean, if you do what you do, then I understand you gotta pay for your crime. But if you are innocent, that's so hard. That's horrible to do anyone like that.
or just the fact how they manipulated the story to turn it into a crime and then get a conviction because they're running on a narrative of what black men are always supposed to be somewhat genetically predisposed to become criminals. And then you have some people that actually believe that. I mean, I've been living in Oak Cliff on and off past 25 my 35 years out here. I've been living in Oak Cliff. But that doesn't make me an instant criminal as soon as I'm going down the street. You know,
Well,
cops pull you over. Where the guns? Where the drugs? What are you doing? Stuff like that. And
and and then the sad part about it, the elected officials can see what's going on, know what's going on, and then they'll partake in the foolishness.
yeah,
It's horrible. It's horrible. Y'all, we got to do better. We cannot allow this to continue to happen because too many people are being hurt. Their families being hurt. Their children being hurt. It's just not just that. It's just not right to do what they're doing. It's just horrifying.
yeah, every day. I mean, and we have to deal with this horror every day. Every day when I leave, I don't know if I'm coming back. You know, and it's not because of the criminals that I'm worried about. It's because of
Hmm,
the public officials and the police. Now that's a scary thought, but it's true. You
that
know,
is true.
I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna get nailed for income tax evasion or get tied to a cold case just so they can clear up their paperwork. Because you know, we've how many times we've heard this one before. You match the description of someone we're looking for and we're investigating. Some people's lives have been altered to a screeching halt just behind that one statement.
Hmm. And man, it's a statement that has been going on for years.
Decades.
I mean, years, and years. Well, we're back up. That's something, okay. And well, it is what it is. I just tell you, I'm so out of sync now because once something goes aloof and array, it just kind of just oh, whatever
Hmm.
at this point in time. But this is all part of coming up in and getting into that lane. And congratulations on your new endeavor. Good luck, and I'm sure you will do well.
Well, and the one thing about it is that I'll never forget the people who helped me reach that next endeavor. You know, I think of one of my dear friends that helped get me a car that I needed so desperately. You know, after 5 years of struggling just to get back and forth, riding on that bus, and then people laughing at you and mocking you for being in that position. And then
Hmm.
I think about my nephew. We had to go through a very tough time when his father, my brother, was dying, and we had to fight to make sure that the money came to the family instead of getting it taken away from hospice care. And then just to have the other family members just come in like vultures swooping in and taking everything and trying to boot everybody to the side.
Well,
I had to deal with that type of drama.
aren't y'all glad y'all made it through that again, y'all? We got to get out of here, but let's start. Let's not make life become lesson to learn. Let's take advantage of lessons to learn, not earn. Okay. So, like I said, do your homework before we elect. Do your homework so you can elect as well as select the right candidate. So you won't have to feel neglect once they get in the seats.
Well, I'm definitely gonna say a little special shout out to my nephew Aubrey Ruffin, starting his own business now. No standard skateboarding, and gonna wish him a lot of luck. And we're gonna definitely be trying to push for him to succeed, move to the next level. You know, young people having dreams and having ventures, having ventures they want to do. That's what that was supposed to be all about. And we can't.
especially a young Black man. Congratulations to your nephew. We got to get out of here. But again, thank you, Mr. Ruffin, for always being willing to come on and just share your wisdom that you learned with us, so we don't have to earn it. So we don't have to earn it. Your lessons you learn for us, so we don't have to earn it. But be blessed, and again, congratulations to your nephew, and congratulations on your new car. All of that, things are looking up, and on your new endeavor as a columnist. Bye for now, y'all.
All
we
right.
got to get out of here. Thank you.
Peace.
Mm-hmm.
There she go, there she go. The reality leaving truth, knowledge, wisdom. Shades on. There she go, there she go. The reality leaving truth, knowledge, wisdom.